So night one of the NFL draft has completed, and a lot of great players got a chance to hear their name called, as it is a blessing for anyone to hear their name called on the NFL draft stage. I'm sure for if all of these players, it was a lifehood dream for them to play in the NFL, and now that dream's coming true for them. For the ones who haven't heard their name called yet, they will hope to hear their name called tonight or over the weekend. So we shall see. But today we're talking about the first round of the NFL draft. It'll be quick. We're gonna go name by name and just give my thoughts on the pick and everything like that. I excluded every team that didn't have a pick. So if the team didn't have a pick, I didn't include them on the list to just save time on the video saying not a pick. It's still going to be probably extensive video, but it's just going to save a little bit of time instead of saying that this team didn't have a pick. As far as the order the order I'm just going team by team. So if it's not the number order, I'm just going team by team. The only one that is how it was in the draft will be the first pick. Yeah, it's going to be pretty interesting. I can't wait for you guys to hear what I thought about the draft, what I thought about the draft picks, and give my thoughts on what I feel night one resulted in for a lot of teams. So, getting it started right off the bat, let's go with the Raiders drafting, predictably, Fernando Mendoza, the Heisman Trophy winner. I think they finally got one. I think they finally got their quarterback that they've been looking for. I think that Mendoza can absolutely be the guy I almost said Oakland. It can be the guy in Vegas. I think he just has that kind of like I always say with Shedeur Sanders. I feel like he has that swagger, like that swagger and that energy with him. So I feel like if he brings that along with embracing the organization like he did last night, his first thing that he talked about when he was drafted last night was his thoughts about the organization's history. He said great organization, touch about the history and stuff like that. So the fact that he's already approaching it like that, I feel like that it's going to be no problem for him to fit in with the organization and fit in with the culture that they're trying to build in Vegas. We're trying to get past the terrible season they had last year with the whole Pete Carroll and stuff like that. So I feel like he'll be a great person to anchor not only the offense around, but also be one of those anchors of the team in general. So shout out to the Raiders for getting their quarterback. I think they finally found their guy. The next pick, like I said, we're not going in any specific order, just going by team. The Cardinals selected Jeremiah Love from Notre Dame. I didn't have a problem with it. I believe he's the highest picked running back since Saquon Barkley, if I'm not mistaken. I don't have a problem with it. I have a huge problem with how running backs are being, in my opinion, devalued as of today in the NFL. Now, I'm not saying that the NFL doesn't have reason to devalue the position, but I just feel like it's unfair to a lot of the talented running backs that they can't get the money I feel like they deserve, because a couple of players did get the money that at the time they deserved, but they didn't perform and hold up to that standard. So I kind of feel like that's a little unfair for other players to have to suffer because other players didn't live up to the standard. However, it is what it is. We have no choice. This is what the NFL has, resulted to after a couple contracts, like the Ezekiel Elliott contract is the one I always bring up, stuff like that. So that kind of results in the lower pay and the lower demanding price for running backs is lowered significantly, and I feel like it's unfair, but I understand it at the same time. However, congratulations to Jeremiah Love for being the highest picked running back since Saquon Barkley. Totally deserved. I think the Cardinals have a running back that they can build around. He can be that spark. I feel like that's a role that running backs play in today's league, being that spark, being that energizer, being that kind of being like the rock for a team, pause, in a way. Like, no, you're not the quarterback. No, you're not maybe the wide receiver, but I feel like if you have a good running back, I feel like that your team is more bound for success than having like a okay running back, if that makes sense. Like, you can be good in the NFL if you have an okay running back. Absolutely. You can be good. But if you have an elite running back, like I feel like Jeremiah Love can be, I think that you go from having the potential to have like a good running game, a good team, a good combination of players, to now you start going into the okay, now you if you get this piece, you can have you start to get into that upper good, maybe elite, maybe at the highest peak possibility. You get to that elite potential when you have a good running back. When you have a great talented running back like Jeremiah Love can be, in my opinion. Just my thoughts though. The Ravens got an offensive lineman. They went with Vega Ioane from Penn State. Have no problem with that at all. The Ravens always, in my opinion, are looking for offensive linemen. That's just kind of their culture as far as trying to build an offensive line, as far as trying to make sure that Lamar Jackson is safe, which I completely agree with because, and I'm going to say this with every team, I don't care who your team is, who's at quarterback. If you do not have an offensive line, I don't care how much you try to get, you can bring as many coordinators in as you would like, as many head coaches in as you would like, change the system as much as you would like, but if the quarterback is on the ground before he can even process a throw or before he can even see his receivers, team ain't going to be very good. So if you don't stack them offensive linemen up when you can, get the talent when it's there, because here's the thing, trying to go get talent in free agency is not a guarantee. And I know neither is the draft, but I feel like in a way you have a better chance or a better probability in the draft because you can develop the player, you can see the potential develop, and you can see how he grows from being how he goes from being a rookie player to start getting more experience and more reps and starts to build that chemistry and starts to become one of those great offensive linemen, right? In free agency, I feel like you kind of get what you get. I mean, I feel like that in free agency. Like, you get offensive lineman, say he has a lot of penalties. He's just gonna have a lot of penalties. That's just what it is. Like, he's not going to change at that point. Like, he is who he is. He has holding penalties all the time. Well, then that's just who you're going to get in free agency. He's not going to change. He's been in the NFL for, say, 5 years. So he's not going to change at this point. He is who he is. He's made a career at this point. You're not going to really change too much with an experienced player. But with a rookie, on the other hand, you can develop traits. You can help. If he has a lot of penalties, you can help him block better, have better technique to where he doesn't get as many penalties called. You can help him develop new things, new strengths that maybe have been weaknesses in college. You can help him develop these different things that I feel like you just can't find with offensive linemen, or really, I'll be honest, any player in free agency. So shout out to the Ravens for going to get stack up the offensive line. I thought that was a great thing to do. And the Panthers, right, like I said, I'm just going team by team. Panthers also got an offensive lineman. They got Morgan Freeland from Georgia. Any of them Georgia boys on the offensive line, always a good pick. That's my only comment there. You get one of them UGA boys, yeah, they dogs, and not because their name is the Bulldogs, but they just dogs up front. That's just what it is. The Bears went and got Dylan Thieneman. Dylan Thieneman from Oregon. He's a safety. I thought this was a great pick. Excuse me if I say these names wrong. But I thought this was a great pick. I feel like the Bears always are. I don't know why, but I feel like they're always on the look or on the search for I don't want to say just safeties, but I feel like more than anything, I feel like they always are kind of watching for a safety, and that's in free agency, that's in the draft, that's in trades. That's it. I've just always felt that way with the Bears. They always look for a safety. Always look for, which is understandable because the safety is. I mean, a safety is kind of, other than the linebacker, the safety is the person seeing everything. Other than the linebacker, he's the person seeing everything. He's watching everything. He knows where everyone is supposed to be. He knows what everyone is supposed to do. Other than the linebacker, he's probably the only other player on defense that has to have that knowledge to know all these other things that has to go on for the play to go right and for the defense to be good. He's the person that has to do that. So I feel like I understand why their approach to go get safeties is as constant as it is, because you always are probably looking for a good one, but I feel like Dillon from Oregon, I feel like he has a great chance to be that guy and to fill in that role. And I could be wrong, but I'm just, from what I've seen, put it like this, from what I've seen on his college, because it's all we got to go on. I mean, when you do the NFL draft, all we got to go on is college tape, right? All we got to go on is college tape, what you've done in college. They ain't never played the NFL snap, so we don't know how they're going to pan out. But I think with his potential, with what I've seen in college, I feel like he can definitely fill the role as a good NFL safety. So I feel like this was a good pick by the Chicago Bears in the new Caleb Williams era, in the new making it to the playoffs era that they are in. Shout out to the Chicago Bears for making this pick. I thought it was a good pick. Next pick, the Browns selected an offensive lineman as well. They selected Spencer Fanu from Utah. Browns going to get an offensive lineman. Huge win. Protect Shedeur Sanders with everything you got. Protect Shedeur Sanders with everything you got. I think Shedeur Sanders might be the best. He has potential to be one of, if not the best quarterbacks in Browns history. So I feel like if they do not get the right tools to protect him and make sure that he's good back there in the pocket, I feel like that they can mess that up. So I feel like they did the absolute right thing going to get an offensive lineman 100%. But also I think they did the right thing with their other pick that they got in the draft as well, going to get another wide receiver. They went and got KC Concepcion from Texas A&M. Another thing, can't go wrong with a wide receiver. Like I said, I think Shedeur Sanders is going to be the guy. So once again, I feel like getting Shedeur Sanders the weapons he needs to succeed can't hurt, can't do anything but help his case, to help him come into his potential, come into his talent, play like I think he can play. I think he has potential, once again, to be the best Cleveland Browns quarterback of all time. But I feel like for him to do that, the Browns have to cooperate as well. So that means going to get talent, going to get players, going to get the things needed for the team to be good. Because while Shedeur Sanders is a person that can make good out of nothing, you don't want to make that a habit in the NFL, because your team is not going to fare very well in that very often. So don't make it a constant where Shedeur has to, or whoever the Browns quarterback may be, I think it's going to be Shedeur. Don't make it a constant where they have to be good and they have to uplift the team from nothing. Don't do that. Go get talent. Go get the players necessary to actually make the team successful. And I feel like they did that in the draft on night one. The Cowboys selected safety Caleb Downs from Ohio State. Great pick. I mean, if you haven't seen the stuff that Caleb Downs can do, he is absolutely amazing playing the safety role. He can feel like he's a do-everything kind of safety. And I'll be honest, I kind of like those safeties more than anything. I like the safeties that you can rely on to ball hawk, to hit, to cover. Those are the best safeties in my opinion, because no offense with safeties that I don't want to say that are one-dimensional, because safety is such a tough position to play. It's kind of like cornerback. I don't care what style of cornerback you play, it's a tough position. It's the toughest position on defense, in my opinion, playing cornerback. But Might be the toughest position on the field, but hey. But I feel like he has the potential and has the talent to where he can do anything that the Cowboys require him to do. Like, I feel like he's a player you can tell, hey, go blow up this play right here. And somehow, some way, he don't even really know how, but he going to go blow it up and make it happen. He has the potential, he has the potential, he has the talent to make it happen. And I feel like the Cowboys did an absolute great job going to get him and secure a safety like him with a person of his talent, person of his potential. I feel like it was a great pick by the Cowboys, but they also doubled up as well. They also went and got an edge rusher. They went and got Malachi Lawrence from UCF. The Cowboys are always known for going to get those edge rushers, so shout out to them for going to get another edge rusher that can add on to hopefully their history of building their own, players from scratch and building the players to where they can be good players that get the big contracts and stuff like that. Jerry Jones loves doing that. He loves getting players that are homegrown and building them up to where they can get the contracts and he can pay them what he wants and they can be Cowboys for life and they can just be one big happy Cowboy family. He loves doing that, so hopefully Malachi Lawrence turns into that player. He definitely has potential to. He has potential to become a great edge rusher. I just feel like that it's a lot of things he can improve on, but I feel like the potential and talent is definitely there. But much like, let's be honest, much like all these players in the draft, they have areas they can improve on. But Malachi Lawrence definitely has the potential to be one of those players that are grown from scratch, in that Cowboy system and ends up down the line, maybe 4 years down the line, he gets a new contract and it's like he has turned into I don't want to say elite, but he has turned into a very good to elite pass rusher to where he can go get you some sacks, he can make some things happen. I feel like he definitely can turn into that guy. The Lions, when they got another offensive lineman, they went and got Blake Miller from Clemson. The Lions, they know how to pick him. I feel like their system is solidified, and I feel like that Dan Campbell has restructured their identity to where he pretty much has a system that he kind of follows by. Like, I feel like you have to check a couple boxes, and one of those boxes have to be physicality. If you go into the Lions, I feel like you have to be physical. It's 3 qualities. Now, if you're going to the Lions, you have to be either physical, extremely fast, or I feel like have some type of veteran experience to where they can somehow use that to their advantage as far as playing and using it to their advantage due to their play style. I feel like Miller does a lot of the physicality part, and I feel like he can have the potential to become one of their. I was thinking about this last night. I don't want to say staples because they already have a lot of like their kind of workhorse people, but with the right attitude, with the right perspective, if he approaches this opportunity like it is a great opportunity, playing for the Lions, playing for a coach like Dan Campbell, if he approaches it with the right attitude, the right mentality, the right work ethic, treat this opportunity as if it was great, because it is. I feel like he can become one of their next staples, like one of their next guys who you go watch the Lions, you're kind of, that he's going to make some plays. I feel like that he'll be has potential to be one of those guys in the future. Maybe the first couple years, it might take a while for him to kind of find his rhythm and, find his identity as a player and find his role as a player, which is the case with all these players. It takes all of them a while to get acquainted and stuff like that. Now, some players pop right away, but that's a rarity. That's like if you pop right away coming out of the NFL draft, that's that's a boost. That wasn't expected. You're supposed to take a while to develop and stuff like that. That's a boost, if at least in my opinion, for you to just go off right away. That's a boost to the team. So I feel like with a couple maybe years of development and getting used to the play, he can be one of the Lions guys, if you know what that means. The Texans went and got an offensive lineman as well. They went and got Kalen Rutledge from Georgia Tech. Same thing with Georgia, honestly. Any of them Georgia Tech linemen, it's a dub. It's a dub. Ain't really too much more to say about that. Shout out to the Texans as they need offensive linemen. We seen what happened with the Patriots in the playoffs. Protect C.J. Stroud at all cost. You're not going to find another C.J. Stroud just anywhere. So protect them like your franchise's life depends on it, because it does. So protect him by all costs. Great pick by the Houston Texans on that one. Shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs for going to get another cornerback to fill that void of Trent McDuffie. They went and got Mansour Delane out of LSU. Great pick in my opinion. Like I said, fills the void of Trent McDuffie, who I feel like they will miss, honestly. But going to get a cornerback right away, I feel like it gives him a chance to get used to the Kansas City pressure, get used to the system, get used to the defensive playing style. You know, get acquainted with all of that, get adjusted, find his identity as a player, find kind of what he'll be doing in the NFL, find what his area will be, because I feel like every corner, in my opinion, has an area where they strive the best. Like they might be great at everything, or good at everything, right? Like they might be able to cover, they can tackle, they can hit. They're good at that. But they might be great at ball hawking. Right? They might be like, yeah, he's good at that. But the football is in the air. It's an 85% chance that he's going to go get it. Like they have an area where they specialize in, where they're most comfortable at. So I feel like this drafting a corner right away, not wasting no time after trading Trent, will give him Delane time to adjust and find his identity and kind of fit into the Chiefs system as they would like him to. But they also doubled up as well. They went and got defensive tackle Peter Woods out of Clemson, which I feel like is a great pick. I feel like the Chiefs need to start, and they do, don't get me wrong, but I feel like the Chiefs need to really put the pressure on as far as trying to build the defense, like as far as defensive tackles, going to get some edge rushers. I feel like they do need to do that, because I feel like, and I've been saying this for years, even when they were, winning Super Bowls and stuff, which was not that long ago at all, but they were just in the Super Bowl against the Eagles, not last year, but the year before last, so it's not that long ago. But I've always felt like if they can somehow build an elite or very good defense. Now, here's the thing. I don't mean defense as far as they get interceptions, or they get interceptions, or they get picks, or they have like those, like those number defenses, like, what I'm talking about? Like certain, to where you have the numbers to back up that you're a good defense, but when you watch them you watch them in the game, you'd be like, well, they can be beat. I don't mean one of them defenses. I mean a defense that you watch and they are terrifying quarterbacks. Like they are getting sacks, putting the pressure on, one of the highest sack totals, one of them type defense, to where every person on the defensive line can go get you a sack. If they can somehow, and I know it's difficult because they have so much money being tied up into the offense, I get that. But if they can somehow build a defense like that, to where the defense is good enough to not only win the game, but take over a game, if they build a defense like that, I don't know how you beat the Chiefs, honestly. I really don't. Because with Patrick Mahomes, when he comes back from injury and everything, everyone knows when he's fully healthy, he's the best quarterback in the league, hands down. When you have Patrick Mahomes playing at his best, which means the offense is flowing because, Patrick Mahomes, he develops a rhythm. It's hard to knock him off of it. You have Patrick Mahomes playing at his best. Then the defense that you can't score on, it's going to be so difficult for you to find a way to beat the Chiefs because it's not like you can relax on defense because you got Patrick Mahomes to worry about. So you can't relax on defense. And then on your offense, if they build the defense that I'm talking about, if you don't go score your first couple possessions, the chance of you winning drops 50% probably, because you probably won't ever have a chance to get back even with the Chiefs. So I feel like them going to build a defense is definitely where the focus needs to be. And I've been saying that for years, but I'm glad that they actually took the leap to go get a defensive tackle in the first round. Shout out to the Chiefs for that. Next pick was the Chargers. They went and got an edge rusher. They went and got Akeem Mesidor from Miami. Have no problem with this at all. The Miami pass rusher just have something about them. In my opinion, I feel like that he has the potential to be a very good to great pass rusher or edge rusher, however you want to say it. And I feel like that's exactly what the Chargers need. I feel like the Chargers have been trying to get that guy for a while and get that guy to where they can rely on. And not that they couldn't rely on Khalil Mack or anything like that. It's just young blood. And I'm one to actually be on the side of experience. I love experienced players, but it's nothing like young, talented players. They're nowhere close to done. And they just tend to have most of the time they tend to be a lot less injury prone. And the greatest part about it all is you don't even know if that's their full potential. So if he goes out and has a great season this year, say Mesidor has a great season this year, let's say 9.5 sacks. He still might not even be scratching the surface of what he can do. He might have the potential to go get 17.5 sacks. But the fact that you don't know is what makes him such a valuable commodity and what makes him, in my opinion, a dub for them to go pick up. So shout out to them for going to get the edge rusher that I feel like they have been looking for inexperienced players, but they actually decided to go get one in a young player in the draft. So shout out to the Chargers for that. And I wouldn't be opposed if I was the Chargers. Go stack up on them. Got some picks. You get in the later rounds. See if you can find one of those. Not lower players, but see if you can find a player that maybe didn't have a good college season, but he has the potential to where he can turn into a great sack guy for you. Go get some edge rushers and some pass rushers like that can develop into something and have the different skill set. Because the best thing that you would want to do is go get some edge rushers with some different skill sets. Okay, he's a speed rusher. Okay, cool. We got a speed rusher. We got a bull rusher. We got a person that can pretty much do everything. We got this guy, and you just go stack up some talent to where now your pass rush has multiple looks that you can go to. So I would say go stack up on the pass rushers. I feel like the Chargers have been needing to do that for a while. So I'm glad they made the step to do it in the draft last night. Shout out to the Chargers for that. Next pick, the Rams went and got quarterback Ty Simpson from Alabama. Great pick. I love Matthew Stafford. That's my homeboy Matt with the hat turned to the back. I love Matthew Stafford. That's my guy. He is a Georgia product, but he is getting older. He is the NFL MVP as well, though. So he's like fine wine, is getting better with time. But I feel like he is getting older. Let's not ignore the obvious. And I feel like that his play naturally as he gets older will maybe start to take a hit. And I feel like that you need to start to know what you're going to do after Matt. And I feel like this has been a area of thought for them for a while, actually, because if you think about it, they went and got Stetson Bennett, and while a lot of people, obviously said that he wasn't going to be very good, I just, and whether that is true or not, I don't know. I haven't seen him on the field enough to know if that's true, but I feel like they have been trying to figure out ways to kind of implement another quarterback to win Matthew Stafford. Okay, Matthew Stafford's time to go. Okay, we got this other quarterback that's been developing under Matt, so he can step right in and we can keep rolling, no problem at all. That's what I feel like Ty Simpson is there for, and I feel like he will do a great job at it. I feel like he can learn a lot from Matthew Stafford because Matthew Stafford has so much experience, and Matthew Stafford is also one of them players who has been in a variety of situations. He's been on the Lions, which was terrible years. So he experienced that, being a good quarterback on a not so good team. He's experienced that. But he's also experienced going to the Super Bowl and winning MVPs and leading the team, going through the playoff run and going through being the guy and having the glory of winning the big game and winning, having the parades and all of that. He's been through it all. He's been the rookie quarterback. He's been the rookie phenom. He's been all of that. So he can teach Ty Simpson so much just off the experience side of it that it's priceless. So shout out to Ty Simpson. Shout out to the Rams. I feel like when it is that time for Stafford to step down, I feel like Ty Simpson can step in, no problem at all. While he may not have the exact, not skill set, but exact performance of Matthew Stafford, I feel like the experience that Stafford can give him will make Ty Simpson a very good quarterback for the Rams when it is that time for Stafford to step down. So, great pick by the Rams, in my opinion. The Dolphins decided to double up as well. They went and got an offensive lineman. They went and got Caden Proctor from Alabama. And they also went and got Chris Johnson from San Diego State. No, not CJ 2K. It's another Chris Johnson. He plays cornerback. Two great picks for them, in my opinion. Excuse me. Two great picks. As far as corner, I feel like they've been, well, I'll be honest. I'm a huge Jalen Ramsey fan, so I'm going to just go ahead and put this out there now. I don't really know why they got rid of Jalen Ramsey, but that's just me. But going to get a corner, I feel like is a great thing to do. You always need corners. You always need fresh-blooded corners. Corners are a prime commodity as of 2026, and as of, I don't pretty much for a while now. I mean, forever, really. So I feel like corners are very valuable, and it's very important to make sure you have a good set of corners or a good corner. If you can't have corners, you want a good corner, and I feel like Chris Johnson can fill that role of being a good corner. He can fill a better role of being one of your good corners. So go stack up a cornerback. He can definitely be one of those guys that can make plays and make things happen from the cornerback position 100%. Going to make sure they got an offensive lineman, especially much like the Georgia and the Georgia Tech. You get one of them Bama boys up front, it's a good decision. Shout out to the Dolphins for making that decision. Great choice. I feel like they will reap the benefits of it. And I feel like this is a position that they needed to address and that they need to build up depth at. And just make sure you stack up some offensive linemen. So I love the fact that they went and did that. Just stack up some offensive linemen. It's always, not some ways, always a good thought to make sure that you stack up some offensive linemen. So shout out to the Dolphins for doing that. The next pick, defensive lineman Caleb Banks from Florida, went to the Vikings. Great pick, in my opinion, to add on to what I feel like is a good defense for the Vikings. I feel like they have the potential for a good defense. And I feel like they need this, honestly, because with so much stuff going on with, the whole quarterback thing, with the Kyler Murray and J.J. McCarthy and stuff like that, the thing that you can always rely on is a defense. So if you have the defense, it don't matter what's going on at quarterback. While you may not win games because of your quarterback, if the quarterback is playing bad, you probably won't win a lot of games. But at least the way I look at it is, at least you can look at your team and say, well, at least the defense was good. So we only got to fix the quarterback position. While that's not an easy thing to do, it's better than saying, well, we didn't go get no defensive players, so now we don't know where to start. We got a defense that ain't good. We got an offense that don't have a quarterback. We got a good wide receiver, but we don't have so I feel like for them to go the defensive route was a great choice. Shout out to the Vikings. And much like what I just said a while ago, I say go stack up some more. In later rounds of the draft, go stack up those overlooked defensive players with a chip on their shoulder that can come in and wants to prove the entire NFL wrong because they feel like they should have been first-round picks and second-round picks, but they slid to the fourth, so now they got a point to prove. Go stack up them players, go stack up that defense, and I promise you, more than likely, you'll reap the rewards. Shout out to the Vikings for making that pick. The Patriots, the Super Bowl runner-up, when they got an offensive lineman. They went and got Caleb Lomu from Utah. Another good pick. And another good pick and another Patriots pick to a T. Patriots love getting offensive linemen in the draft. It's just kind of their way. It's their thing. It's what they do. It's kind of their area of expertise, I guess you would say. But it's also a smart decision because we've seen what happened in the Super Bowl, how they, I don't want to say collapsed, but how they suffered due to the Seattle Seahawks defense. They need some way to protect Drake May. They need some way to protect him. And I hate to keep bringing up this point, but in a franchise quarterback era like we are in now, to where teams are starting to get their franchise guys, protect them like your franchise's life depends on it, because it does. If you do not protect Drake May, knock on wood, and you lose out on the opportunity to see what he could have been, you're going to regret that for the rest of history. Because while he may not be Tom Brady, he has the potential to be the second best quarterback in your franchise history, and you mess that up by not having an offensive line. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be that. You don't want to be that team. So shout out to them for going to get an offensive lineman, trying to do everything they can to protect Drake May. And I say later rounds in the draft, I wouldn't be opposed to going to do the same thing, going to get more offensive linemen. Saying keep it going. I say keep it going. Make sure you protect Drake May like your franchise's life depends on it. Next pick, the Saints went and got Jordan Tyson from Arizona State. Good pick for them, especially after losing Rashid Shaheed to the Seattle Seahawks. I thought this was a good pick for them to go get another receiver that can come in and fill for that kind of void. And I feel like that he has the potential to do a lot of things that Shaheed was doing, if not better than Shaheed was doing. Like he can do the hybrid stuff. He can do the stuff where, you got to be hybrid. You got to be, they might put you in the slot, or they might line you up in different places just to kind of throw the defense off. And I feel like he can thrive in those opportunities as well, which is the wide receivers I tend to like the best. Like the ones, no offense with like one signature wide receivers are great, but to have a wide receiver that you can have doing multiple, like you can line him up anywhere. A Cooper Kupp, that's what I feel like Jordan Tyson has the potential to potentially be, where you can line him up anywhere, you can tell him to do anything, and he can get it done. I'm not saying he's going to have the career of Cooper Kupp, but the talent and the skill set is there, and he definitely could be the guy for the Saints at the wide receiver position, in my humble opinion. The next pick is the Giants. They went and got linebacker Arvell Reese from Ohio State, which was a great pick to add on their monsters of defense that I feel like they have. And adding on to this new culture for the Giants that I love that they are bringing in. I love that John Harbaugh is bringing this new energy, this new life, breathing this new aura over the Giants. And I love that Arvell Reese can fit right in with the Giants. I love that he can be a part of this new revolution, I guess you could say, that they're having. They're having this new revolution, this new revival of their swagger, because for them to have a coach like John Harbaugh who's been there, who's done that, who knows what it's like to go to the playoffs every year, and to where the point that's not the prize anymore. Going to the playoffs isn't what he lives for as far as football. He's focused on Super Bowls. He's went to the playoffs enough times in his career to where that's not really anything to write home about anymore. He knows how to win games. He knows how to get it done from a winning Super Bowl perspective. So he's picking these players with the potential of who can help us go the farthest as far as organization. So I feel like Reese can definitely fill that position to go help the team stretch as far as it can go. But also he has potential to be one of them great defensive players that the Giants can make their new revolution, new era. What's the word I'm looking for? New era, new revolution. New era, new revolution. He could be one of the faces. I'll put it like that. He could be one of the faces of the newer revolution for the New York Giants, in my personal opinion. Especially if he develops the way I expect him to. He takes it serious. He deals with opportunity seriously. He's not distracted. He keeps the main thing the main thing. He can be amazing for the New York Giants. He also went and got an offensive lineman, and went and got Francis Mauigoa from Miami. A Miami offensive lineman is absolutely amazing to go get, especially he just had the chance of going to the national championship. It's no stranger for him for protecting the quarterback in advanced situations as far as playing in big games. I feel like he just has to make sure he, once again, deals with this opportunity seriously, because Jackson Dart, once again, I've been saying this all video, is a franchise quarterback. So what's the rule? Protect him like your franchise's life depends on it, because it does. The Jets, in my opinion, might have won the draft. They went and got an edge rusher in David Bailey from Texas Tech, a tight end in Kenyon Sadiq from Oregon, wide receiver in Omar Cooper Jr. from Indiana. 3 players in the first round. I might give the edge of the draft to the New York Jets just for getting 3 players, and I feel like all 3 of them players have the potential to make the Jets actually commendable again. All 3 of those players can play a huge factor in making the Jets competitive again, have a better season, obviously, but also give them that better look that they need at the moment. They need, because they're right now people looking at them as a joke, but these players play like they have the potential to and take this opportunity seriously. Hey, the Jets might have won the draft, at least the first night, because going to get 3 players and all of them I feel like can be very good to elite players in this league. Shout out to the Jets, man, for real. The Eagles, when they got their A.J. Brown replacement last night, they went and got Mekhi Lemon from USC. While they have not traded A.J. Brown yet, I believe they definitely will, and they definitely will move forward with trying to phase him out and get him out of Philadelphia. And I feel like their replacement of him will be Mekhi Lemon that they got from USC last night. So with that being the case, I commend them on that, going to get a receiver, going to get the replacement receiver before you actually trade the receiver. I commend them on that, and I think Lemon has the potential to be a good receiver in this league as well. And I feel like he can definitely fill the void of making those big plays when you need them, as far as being a big play guy, a big moment guy that can actually make the plays that A.J. Brown would make in certain moments. I feel like he can not be A.J. Brown, I'm not saying that, but I feel like he can make the plays when you need him like A.J. Brown would do in certain moments. The Steelers, when they got an offensive lineman, they went and got Max Ihanachor excuse me, from Arizona State. I feel like that was a great move. Anytime the Steelers get an offensive lineman, it's a good move because they just happen to have that offensive lineman formula, and they always kind of know how to get the best out of them, in my opinion. I'll just put it like that. So I feel like that was a great area to fill last night, especially with the Aaron Rodgers stuff going on. I know a lot of Steelers fans, I've seen wanted them to go get a receiver, but I feel like you can't go wrong with an offensive lineman. A receiver would have been more interesting, but you can't go wrong with an offensive lineman. Aaron is probably going to be back with the Steelers as well, so might as well make him happy for his last year while he's going to be there, getting him an offensive lineman. Probably would have been happy with a receiver too, but he ain't going to be there long, so his happiness don't even really matter at this point. The Seahawks went and got their Kenneth Walker replacement in Jadarian Price from Notre Dame. Great pick. He's going to be there to fill that Kenneth Walker void, and I feel like he definitely can. Like I said, we're in the era where running backs aren't as valued as they once were. So I feel like him along with going maybe running back by committee, as far as the rotation running backs, I feel like they can fill that void of Kenneth Walker easily. While you're not going to replace Kenneth Walker and what he can do, I feel like you can definitely replace the production to where you have a running game that you can rely on. So I feel like the running game is still going to be there. You just don't have that guy that can do everything like a Kenneth Walker can do, but you can still get the results out of multiple players and out of Jadarian Price. Just how Kenneth Walker would do certain things, you can rely on him. You may have to go to multiple players to get that same production. But Jadarian Price can do a lot that Kenneth Walker can do. So I feel like you might also want to just let Price just set him free and see what he can do. So you might just want to go that route as well. So they have multiple ways they can go, but I feel like running back by committee is the best way that you can preserve Price for not getting worn down early in his career and also let him eat as well. But I feel like that's the best way you can preserve him, but also make sure that all of your other running backs get a chance to eat as well. The Bucs went and got an edge rusher in Ruben Bain Jr. from Miami, which was a great pick. He gets to stay in Florida. I don't know how he managed to slip that far, but he did and went right to the Bucs, and I don't feel like they could have been a better team for him to go to other than the Bucs. The Bucs are already a team that really prioritize defensive intensity. That's just kind of what they do. They love the blitz and stuff like that. Like that's kind of their formula. That's what they like to do, and it works for them. I don't feel like they blitz at the right time sometimes, but it does work, and it does work for them, and it happens to be just kind of their signature. They like to blitz a lot, and I feel like Ruben Bain will feel that. It will fill that void if they had an edge rusher, perfectly. And I feel like he'll have no problem with with being sent on a blitz, no problem at all. I feel like he'll be easily to go get the sack, and they might not even need to blitz as much if he can play like he has the talent to. They can stop blitzing so much and just go let the front four go get the quarterback and let the blitzes become more unpredictable than they already are. Let the blitz be more of a like shock factor thing. Like let the front four go get them all game, and then when it's third and 3, and you've been sending the front four all game, so now they're expecting the front four again. You send the front four with the blitz, and then it's like, okay, they don't know what to do. I feel like you can make the blitzes more unpredictable with the talent of someone like Ruben Bain. So I feel like they won in that position as well. The Titans went and got wide receiver Carnell Tate from Ohio State, and they also went and got an edge rusher. Also went and got an edge rusher Keldrick Folk from Auburn. Great things to go do, and also I want to applaud Robert Saleh for going to get a defensive guy, because I was going to be shocked if he didn't, being he's a defensive guy. So he went and got a defensive guy after they went and got the thing I feel like they needed, which was a wide receiver. They went and got the position that I feel like Robert Saleh would know his way around in, which is edge rusher. And I feel like they picked the right one, honestly. That Auburn system is gritty. It's gritty workhorses. I'm trying to find another word. Gritty workhorses, powerhouse type system. Strong players. That's normally what Auburn breeds. So I feel like that Robert Saleh is gonna have a blast having the chance to work with him on the defensive side of the ball, pause, and also having a chance to work with the defense and him getting acquainted to the Titan system. And I feel like that he can be I'm trying to figure out the word. I'm not trying to like insinuate that Robert Saleh plays favorites. I'm not trying to say that at all. But I feel like Robert Saleh does a lot of times have his guys, and a lot of coaches do. There's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like he has his guys to where he like has a liking to him. Not like that, but like a coach is like, okay, he has a lot of talent type players. I feel like he can be that guy for Robert Saleh to where Robert Saleh kind of lives through him. Like he tells folk to do something, and Robert Saleh can almost depend on him to do it and kind of live through him on the field. Breathe encouragement in him and breathe that reassurance in him to where he can make a big play and, do anything where the team needs a big play, he can rely on folk to go get it. I feel like he can be that guy. And the wide receiver, to go get Cardinal Tate for Cam Ward was a great decision. Now Cam Ward has someone he can rely on consistently and to be that guy for him. So that's a win-win in both areas, in my opinion, offense and defense. And to wrap it up, the Commanders went and got a linebacker in Sony Styles from Ohio State, which I feel like was a great choice. I feel like the Commanders have been looking for that linebacker for a while, and Sony Styles definitely can be that guy. He just has the potential. He has I know it's kind of cliche, but he has that it factor, if that makes sense. He has that it factor. He has that fill the void. He has that kind of Dan Quinn type swagger. So I feel like he can 100% fill the role for the void that they're looking for. It'd just be a thing of can he handle the pressure of being, which I'm sure he can because he's been a linebacker his whole career as far as college and high school and stuff. My only concern with linebackers is always this. Can you handle the pressure of, on the NFL stage, you being the guy to make it happen for the defense? That's the only thing I feel like they have to worry about. If he can do that, no problem at all. Be the guy on the defense. Be that force on the defense. Be the glue. Be the person that make the defense go. If he can do that, I feel like they got a good linebacker for years to come. And I feel like he can be that franchise cornerstone, honestly,